Welcome back to the ABCs of blogging. In this screencast, I want to show you the various parts of a blog so that as you prepare to set up your own blog, you'll be familiar with perhaps the kinds of elements that need to be there and the things that you need to take into consideration. Let's start by just kind of looking at this page as a whole. Although you can't see the entire page right here. But if you'll take a look, you'll notice that there are some elements here that the blogs are all going to have in common. One is the design of the blog. Because I post about books at this particular blog, I decided that the background with the library shelving would probably be the most appropriate. I can always change that should I decide that it's too busy or it really doesn't fit well, or I just want a different kind of change, and all I have to do is go to design and I can affect some changes that way. But for now, I'm happy with this design. As I look at it, I think that it says what the purpose of this particular blog is going to be about. You'll notice that there's a banner right here at the top of the blog that will appear on any page. Just not it's not always the most recent page, but it'll appear on any page. And it basically says that this is an alternate blog site for me, and it directs people to my other blog because I do want to get traffic going back and forth. And here I tell them that one of the key advantages here is they can search my blog using keywords or tags. And so I'm here, and I'm also here because my students need a place where they can come and take a look at what I'm reading and what I'm writing about. So this particular banner will kind of stay in place. It will always let people know where they are. Now, there are some things over here in the right-hand column that also stay no matter what page you're looking at in my particular blog. And I want to talk a little bit about the decisions behind these. The first is a picture of my cat, Scout, who is my blogging companion. And that is true. If you look, he is sitting in the chair in which I blog. There's my iPad sitting right next to it. I got up to take a break. Scout got into the chair. That's the way things go in blogging land sometimes. I like having a personal picture on the website to let people know that there is a human being behind this blog. It's not just somebody amorphous out there, but it's a person who has a pet cat. And you're going to see other things that kind of point to me as we go down. The next piece right over here in the right-hand column you'll see has to do with the people who follow me. These are people who decide to join this particular site and will therefore be able to access new posts and things that I do. They'll be notified of that. So I have 105 people right now who follow me, and these are the pictures that they've provided. You can see some prefer to remain anonymous and others post their pictures so I know who they are. Scanning down a little bit more, you'll see a wonderful archive of my blog. And it will tell you, first of all, that during this year, during 2012, I've posted 329 times. In October, 31 times. And that's one for every day of October. As I told you earlier, I do try to blog about a book every single day. I don't always make it, but I do try to do that anyhow. And as you scan down, you'll see the different titles of the blog posts, and we'll get back to those in a few minutes. And as you come to the end of October, you'll see that I've blogged in September, in August, and July. In other words, you can continue to go back and look at my blog postings from the beginning all the way forward. And then finally, there's a little profile of me right here. You'll notice once again I've used my cat Scout rather than myself, but I've given him a wonderful blonde wig to go along with it. And basically I tell you that I'm a professor here at Sam Houston State University in library science, and I teach classes in literature. That's probably more than enough information. If you want to know more, you can certainly go out to the web and do a search. That's not difficult at all. So this information in this right-hand column will remain relatively stable. I may add or subtract or change a picture or two, but it's there every time you kind of come to log in. The content that will change depending on when you come visit me has to do with the day-to-day postings. Right now, you're looking at Monday, October 29th's posting. It's the most recent one to post here. If you come back on another day, that particular date will be the one that's at the very top. We talked a little bit about some of the elements you need to keep in mind as you're creating a blog. And just to review, I think it's really important that you give each and every blog post a title. I sometimes forget to do that, I will be honest here, but by and large, I write the title before I begin to make the entry. In this case, it's giving you a little bit of a clue about what it is you're going to encounter when you come to this particular post. I'm in this case writing about animal picture books, and you'll see that in my tags in just a few minutes. And I'm doing it via something I call a haiku. It's not something I invented. I saw somebody else do a book summary using a haiku, and I thought it was just inspired. And so I call mine blaikus, short for blog haikus. And what I do is take each of the books I've read, I insert the cover, I give you the title, the author, the publisher, and the year, because those are all going to be things that are important to people who might be visiting the blog looking for particular books. And then in this case, I wrote a short haiku about the book. A haiku is basically a classic poetic form, 5 syllables in the first line, 7 in the second, 5 in the third. So a total of 17 syllables all told. And what I have here is the blaiku for dogs and cats. Here are the kitties, flip the book and see puppies, 2 for the price of 1. It lets you know that this book is a flip book that contains information about dogs, and when you flip it over, there's information about cats. The final piece of this particular post about this book is a number in brackets. And this number in brackets tells you where this book is in terms of how many I've read this year. This is my 581st book for the year 2012. And that number will continue to escalate as we go throughout the year. I have set as my goal always to read one more book this year than I did last year. And last year I read 725 books, and I'm pretty much going to continue to reach my goal of one more book this year. Bear in mind, a lot of the books I'm reading are picture books, so if that seems like a big number, don't be too overwhelmed by that. So I've basically blogged about 2 picture books here. And if you look down here, it will tell you that I'm the person who blogged, because I might authorize other people to do a blog, and when I posted that blog. And so far, nobody's left me a comment, but you can. You can simply click on the icon and leave a comment on the blog and let me know what you thought about it. Right underneath that are a variety of options that you can use. You can email the link to this blog to someone or to yourself. You can blog about it. You can post a link to Twitter or to Facebook or to Google+. And frequently people will do that and kind of get word out that here's a blog post that others might be interested in doing. The final thing you see here are my labels. These are the tags that I give to the books, so that if you want to search for other animal picture books, you can click on this link and it will take you to other animal picture books that I've reviewed. The final piece here says, if you want to, what kind of reaction do you have about this book? Did you think it was funny? Did you think it was interesting? Did you think it was cool? So you can kind of rate the posting, rate the book. That's kind of up to you. As we continue to scroll down, you'll see that the particular blog posts will look a little different as we go from picture books to this, a graphic novel adaptation of Rick Riordan's Red Pyramid, down to a middle grade novel by Henry Winkler, down to a young adult novel, My Sister Lives on the Mantelpiece. There is a variety in terms of the length and the depth and the descriptions that you'll see as we go through the blog. There are all different kinds of ways to write about books, and that's something that I'll talk about in a screencast to come. So you can do all kinds of different things here. It's totally up to you. When you get to the bottom of this particular page and you run out of posts, you have the option of clicking on older posts, which will take you back in time, show you other posts that I've made in October, and you can continue to click that as well. And finally, here at the bottom of the page, you'll see the total page views of this particular blog, over 30,000 page views right now, and that number will click up as more people look at the blog. There's an opportunity to search the blog here. You can write in, gee, I've read a book about friendship, or I read a book about abuse, or I read a book about animals. What else is here on this website about animals? So you can simply plug in that keyword or that tag and click search, and it will allow you to search the 329 postings to find that. And finally, there's a real picture of me. Of course, it's a very old picture of me, but that tends to be why it's one of my favorites. So here's basically the overview of the blog site, and gives you some things that you need to kind of keep in mind as you're getting ready to put your own blog in place.